Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm coming to you from the garage night for another Garage Gun Talk. Working on preparing for some product reviews. I filmed a video today, and today has not been a good day overall because yesterday I severely sprained my ankle. I got crutches. I had to go to the ER last night because even though I was able to work most of the day, I thought it was just going to be a minor sprain. I could put weight on it. When I got home, I took off the Ace bandage that I put on it earlier in the day. And when I got in the shower, I don't know if it was the hot water or whatever. Anyway, my ankle went poop, swole up, and it was in pain, and I could barely move. I was in a lot of pain. So I had to go to the ER. And they did an x-ray. Luckily, there's no fractures, which kind of surprised me because I thought I heard a pop or something, but they said it's probably just a minor thing. But the radiologist looked at it and no fractures, so I'm good. But I'm probably going to be on crutches, and let me show you here. Yeah, a boot for about 5 days. Man. So anyway, with this thing on, I can't drive. I think I can probably drive tomorrow. I could take it off and on, but today I wanted to give my ankle a day of rest, so I stayed home from work, and I have to be a busybody. I probably should have laid in bed all day, like the doctor ordered, but I have to get stuff done. I cannot be unproductive. So I try to do a little bit of Texas gun vaulting. So I made a list of videos that I have to make for the main channel. And oh my gosh, this month I'm going to be so overwhelmed. I have so many guns in for review. I made a list of things. I was able to make one video, a From the Vault video, on my kind of DMR Mark 12 inspired rifle that you guys have seen on this channel before. I set up for another video, and actually, you guys remember when I was doing all that foam stuff with that case? Well, you guys convinced me to spend more money, because after I did that, and I was proud as a peacock, some of you guys were like, you need to look at these videos with these guys that do the same thing you did, but then they do the, what's it called, plasti dip? The spray plasti dip, and I was like, okay, I saw that. I was like, that looks so good. So I ordered all new foam, which really wasn't that much money. I bought one for 2 cases, and it only cost me like $40. It's awesome. And I guess I got to wait for that now. And I bought the plasti dip and the adhesive that were all used in those other videos off of Amazon. So all that's coming. So I'm going to redo that whole case, and I prepared that, took all the old foam out. As you can see, it's all gone from over there where it's been for the past couple of weeks, and I was trying to decide what to do with it. But I fixed that, or prepared for that, and so I'll be making actually a video for my main channel on that. So you guys got me to spend some money. And then I got 2 product reviews I wanted to set up for. One is this through night weapons mounted light. It's called the Rattle, R-A-T-E-L. And I knew I was going to have to mount it to a rifle, so I needed one to do that with. So I brought out one of the rifles I like to use for my product reviews. This is my Northstar Arms NS15. And originally I had it set up, or today I had it set up for an Olight GLM. But I'm taking all that off because I got to mount some Picatinny rails. I know this thing takes Picatinny rail. So I'm out here kind of doing that, preparing for that. What else? So I think I got the case. I did that. Anyway, I think I told you pretty much everything I did to prepare for the future. I got a Patreon video up that I realized that I had filmed but forgot to release. I did that, caught up on some Texas Gun Vault emails, so maybe today was actually good to have off. Sucked not making any money, and I know my students were probably sad that I wasn't there, but I just couldn't drive. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about when it comes to the Texas Gun Vault and kind of like a channel update. But now I want to talk about something that some people had messaged me about and wanted to get my thoughts and opinions on. And that is the closing, apparently, of Remington Arms in New York. And for me, it's not really that big of a surprise that Remington Arms closed up. Because, number one, they're based in New York City. Or no, sorry, not New York City, New York State. They're based in New York. So you have a very anti-gun state. And you have high taxation, you have high regulation, you have a lot of money that has to go into labor laws and all that kind of stuff and compliance that probably is unnecessary. I guess they're also unionized, So the company just was not in a place that was conducive for making money in the firearms world, which is a very small profit margin to begin with. But then, let me ask you guys, I know that Remington it's a household name. I mean, everyone knows Remington firearms. I mean, the shotguns, the rifles, and so forth. They're the oldest manufacturer of firearms in the United States, going back to, I have a sign over here that would tell me. 1816 is when they started. But let me ask you, what guns were Remington making that you really wanted to go out and buy? You know, the firearms world changes over time, and the fads come and go. You know, I remember some of the I'll call them the old timers, but I don't want to say that in a disrespectful way. The people that were into guns 20 years before me, some of them are no longer with us. They looked at AR-15s as like rare things because nobody bought an AR back in the 80s. Yeah, people did, but they weren't as popular as they are today, you know? So we've moved away from the steel and wood guns to the aluminum and the polymer guns. And that's just what's popular. And Remington did not change with the times. In order for a gun company, I think, to be successful, they have to be able to change with the times and go, what do consumers want from us? What kind of products can we make? And Remington wasn't doing that. Let's just be honest. If you ask yourself, what is Remington known for? Well, I can say the Remington 870 shotgun, okay? But in the grand scheme of things, when you actually look at the numbers of guns that are sold in the United States, shotguns is not that much. It's mostly handguns, then rifles, then shotguns. It's a small percentage of sales. And even there, they have lots of competition. I mean, from all the new guns coming in from Turkey and Benelli, Beretta. I mean, they had a lot of competition. Then you know them for like the Remington 700, you know, a great bolt action rifle, right? But bolt action rifles, while they're popular, I mean, for hunters and things, and of course the military used them for a time for one of their sniper rifles, they're not the most popular rifle in the United States now. The AR-15 is. So what was Remington making that was really exciting for the consumer? Remember was it the R51? I guess they came out with. That was a complete disaster. They honestly, and I'm going to say this in a nice way. I don't begrudge the company, or they were kind of a FUD company. They were making stuff and relying on their name recognition and the legacy products that they manufactured for business. Kind of like what happened to Colt. And look what happened to Colt. Luckily, Colt got bought out by a good company like CZ, right? I think CZ is going to turn that company around. Now, Remington, the name is always going to have value. Okay, so that name is always going to have value, and most likely they're going to find some investors that are going to be willing to buy the name, and the company could start up again, and it's not going to go away because it's worth something. The name is worth something. And a lot of people are upset. But what was Remington really doing? I don't blame the workers. It's not the workers' fault. It's the bean counters' fault. It's the people at the top. They weren't making guns Americans want. They decided to do business in an anti-gun place. Other gun companies have said, you know, hey, we're leaving Connecticut. We're leaving Maryland. You know, I mean, the list is long, you know. Beretta moved to, Tennessee. Some companies have moved to Texas. Some have moved to Florida. Some have moved to Alabama. You got to get out of those states that are anti-gun. Why would you want to live and work and pay taxes to a government that hates you and everything that you make and makes it impossible for you to do business? And anytime something happens, they blame you for everything. It's not a good, conducive environment. And I know that probably moving locations is a lot of money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hassle. But you know, this is what I tell people that live behind enemy lines in states like California or New York. You know, I'm one of those people that say you need to move. Okay, and I know some people think that's cold-hearted because they're like, well, I have family here, I have my roots here, it's where I grew up, it's where I work, it's too much, I have my kids, all that. I understand. But if you truly are as passionate about this topic as you say you are, you would move. Because think about your ancestors, possibly. I can tell you that my ancestors, obviously, look at my skin color, they eventually came from Europe, right? At some point in time, they came from Europe. Because things got so bad in Europe where they were from that centuries ago, they're like, we're getting the heck out of here. And now back then, that was a major trip. You sold everything. You got on a boat going to a place that you had never been, and you're going to a place that's not even built up with infrastructure. You're going to the wilderness. It was that bad where they came from that they were going to risk life and limb on the boat ride over because they wanted to forge their destiny in a better place. But people today, with the freedom of mobility, go, I'm going to stay in California, I'm going to stay new. And I support that right. By the way, I'm not upset with anybody that does, and I understand the reasons for that. But there are brighter pastures elsewhere. I seriously doubt in anyone's lifetime watching this video right now that we're going to see California become a bastion of Second Amendment rights and freedoms. We're just not going to see it in our lifetime. It doesn't mean that in 70 or 80 or 100 years from now, it's all inverted and Texas is communist and California is the place to be. It might be that way, because you cannot predict that stuff. But the way things move, the way that we can predict political trends, it's not going to change. It's probably only going to get worse there. Even if the Supreme Court hands down these very, very broad decisions, it's still going to take generations to change anything in those places. So get out. Get out if you can. Make a plan. It doesn't have to be tomorrow, but it could be in 3 or 4 years, I got to move out of Connecticut. I got to move out of Maryland. I got to move out of New York. I got to move out of California. There's places that would welcome you with open arms, that are going to be lower taxes, more freedom, and be like, we're looking for productive, patriotic Americans that are looking to better the places that they want to move to. And many of you guys are that. But gun companies have to do the same thing. So I'm not upset about Remington going out of business. I'm not sad about it. It's the way things go. And Remington's not going to go away. The name's not going to go away. Someone will buy it eventually, start it back up, and it might be better and stronger than it ever was because an investment group may buy it, another gun company may buy it, start it up in Alabama, start it up in Texas, start it up in Utah, start it up in Florida, where it can flourish. And the new management be like, okay, well, we'll make some of these legacy products. But what we're also going to do is look at the market, what is interesting to gun owners now. ARs, AKs, handguns, polymer striker handguns for concealed carry. They should produce a line of guns that could compete with Glock or Smith & Wesson M&P series. But do they? No, they don't. So, but they could do that in the future. And that'd be the only way for them to move forward. But if they did that, then their business model and the company would be better in the future in the long run. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. So I know a lot of people get upset in the short term. It's like everything in the gun world. Everything in the gun world, when news breaks, everybody immediately goes to the, oh, woe is me, the sky is falling, this is it, the Second Amendment is over. And I guess I'm to the point now where I'm tired of doing that. I see the trend. It's you guys know I preach it here on this channel every single day about stop panicking, because I know it's easy to panic. You watch the channels, you get the clickbait, but how much of it has really come to fruition? How much? It hasn't. It really hasn't. And maybe it's time for us to pay attention, to be involved, but to not panic over every little thing that happens, because it's not always going to be the doom and gloom end of the world scenario. And I think you'll be happier for it, because life is miserable if you're always upset. And a lot of these channels, a lot of these groups want you upset, because it means you're focused on them, giving them clicks, making them money. And I am not in any way about fear-mongering. I don't like that. I want happiness. I want to be joyful about the victories we're having right now. And I also want to be smart and vigilant. Because I personally believe that when you're emotional, that's when you're going to make poor decisions. And so many gun owners and so many channels live in that world of constant negativity. I am just not going to be a part of that. And I got to move this bipod back. It's one of the things I was going to do on this gun tonight. So, I got to finish this thing up. But that's what I wanted to talk about. Little channel update. Thank you guys for making me spend more money. Let you guys know that I am going to do the Plasti Dip spray stuff on a whole new case. And I'm overwhelmed with the number of videos I have to make this month. But it's good. It's good. I like to be productive. And when I dwindle that list down to nothing, I'll be happy. And then answer some questions about my thoughts about Remington Arms going out of business, or at least closing their doors in New York. So what do you guys think about Remington Arms? And do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing, a neutral thing? You don't care? And do you agree with me in my assessment of the company that they kind of did it to themselves, and maybe in the future they'll be stronger for all of this? So let me know what you think in the comments section below. And today's word of the day. Today's word of the day. Somebody said I should probably do it in the middle of the videos, because then people can just go to the end and cheat. But I'll have to start that tomorrow, because I don't want to add a whole bunch of time to this. So for today's video, let's say, I don't know, bipod. Bipod is the word of the day. I like the word of the day. I don't know how this evolved. I like that. I kind of feel like Pee Wee Herman, right? Doing the word of the day and screaming. So anyway, bipod is the word of the day if you made it to the end. And let me know about all those things we get talked about. And thank you for joining me in the garage for a little garage gun talk. I really enjoy making these videos. So, as always, thanks for watching.